Hey, welcome to the weekly Crypto Club and Digital Assets weekly catch up on Zoom. Let's dive straight in and see what we're going to talk about this week.
Hi, Gary.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm okay, thanks. Where are you calling in from today?
Dubai, but
Dubai,
from London. Based out in
Dubai, so
London,
quite
but
late in the evening then for you.
yes.
Good of you to join us. What brings you along today, Umar?
So I'm in the basically tokenization field industry. We're
Okay.
building a tokenization platform.
Okay. Sort of what, real world assets or
Yes,
general?
real world.
Okay.
So I'll start with tokenization of real world assets, but we have many other products in the pipeline, all
Okay.
to do with tokenization, digital finance.
Okay. And in a very regulatory friendly environment as well, I guess, from Dubai.
Yeah, so currently, yes, it's regulatory friendly, but very expensive for startups.
Okay.
So we're going down a few. We're doing a bit of regulatory arbitrage. So
Okay.
yeah, we're in a globalized world. So
Yeah, that's fair enough. And this is exactly what I've seen happening for a number of years anyway.
yeah,
Exactly as you describe, companies, certainly startups, are looking at the regulatory arbitrage of which
yeah,
crypto regulation is friendly,
yes,
and which is pragmatic and which is expensive as well,
yeah,
which is the other thing. So, yeah,
yes,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
really
we're starting off with commercial real estate, tokenization of commercial real estate.
okay.
We have a platform which is the white label ready, so we can tokenize any real world assets on the token standard is ERC 3643.
Okay.
So it'll be primary issuance and secondary marketplace trading. Plus, we'll have DAO for voting. Um, in the future, we want to use AI to
Okay.
represent the community members through DAO. So suggestions will be fed through DAO, and
Okay.
an AI will represent maybe at board level, maybe at some management level, something
Okay.
along them lines.
So that's interesting because my understanding is the idea of a DAO is effectively you've got a smart contract managing the whole governance process, but you're going to
Yes,
augment that with AI in some way. Is that right?
yes.
Okay.
So in a way, there'll be DAOs for the governance, and again, we could have an AI representative, for example, at board level, which feeds back the community feedback, which
Okay.
basically represents the community feedback.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sounds interesting. Well, maybe we'll explore that a bit further shortly. And seeing
That's
who
good.
holds joins. Thanks for coming along. Anyway, we're joined by
Thank you. No,
Stuart, who's a regular out on the west
great,
coast of the US,
great stuff.
and we're joined by the glamorous Meg as well. Hi, Meg. Good evening to you.
If
The
you're using the
entrepreneur.
adjective glamorous, Gary, I think we really do need to revisit your prescription at Specsavers.
My prescription's been upgraded through Stella Artois, who provide my so that works. That's good. Good.
Love a
Good.
bit of wife beater on a Sunday. Come on.
Good of you to join us anyway. How's your compliance project work coming on then, Meg?
Truthfully,
Mm.
it's hilarious because very few people actually care about compliance, and it's sort of a means to an end,
Hmm.
and sort of championing the call to see it as an advantage and something that'll allow you to invest in more products and your actual business rather than employing an army.
Hmm.
Isn't as easy as I thought it would be. So
Mm.
it's a bit frustrating, but it's starting to get traction. I've
That's
got a
good.
few speaking engagements this week and
Cool.
keeping the fingers crossed for some pixie dust in 2026.
So does this mean you're speaking over at Davos then?
Have you been told?
Oh, I'd have a
Have you been
guess.
told?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised. There's no reason why not.
Yeah, sure. World
Yeah.
Economic Forum, broke
Yeah.
ass single mom in a council flat. Yeah, let me talk to you about compliance and why you're all fat cats taking the cream and costing the world all sorts of things.
The
Yeah, no, there was
reality
an
as well,
invitation.
I know people who go to Davos each year, and the whole crypto scene, it's growing, or certainly it was growing, but it is a bit of a sideshow. You know,
Yeah.
it's not like the main train type thing. But lots of people go and they like to be able to say, "Hey, I was a speaker at Davos this year," even though it was like a spin-off event. Okay. Yeah.
But I was invited to come and join a panel, and I thought, well, the travel and the cost and the speaking, and God knows the extracurricular involvements, sort of it didn't stack up financially for me this year. But I'm sure a lot of people are going. But what I'm more interested in is the scene developing in London, with Barclays Rise, and also in Cambridge. So for me, at least, it seems a better investment.
Yeah, and you're in the right kind of place for exactly that. My understanding on the costings as well is that it's actually not too expensive to get to Davos, but it's ridiculously expensive to stay there. Because I think it's something like traditionally. I'm trying to remember how many prostitutes they reckon go there each year, but it's phenomenal. No. So I'm there for all the hotel rooms.
Are you suggesting I diversify speaking and prostitution as a way of financing the trip?
Well, no, I'm not suggesting you engage in that, but I'm simply reflecting the fact that puts the hotel room costs up somewhat. So
or helps reduce them, one or the other.
Yeah, fair enough. No, let's not go there because I'm going to spend all evening editing this video before it goes on YouTube. And do that. So. That's not good. So we're just chatting with Umar. He's dialed in from Dubai, so it's quite late in the day for him at the moment. And he was talking about real-world asset tokenization, which is an ever-evolving area. Really interesting stuff. And I know certainly in previous iterations of crypto, and I keep saying it, crypto goes in cycles with new ideas and that kind of thing. I've seen
the valuations of crypto go in cycles, but actually the technology is advancing and the appetite is advancing, which is really cool. And especially with the migration from the East, Singapore, Mass, etc. A lot of people are sort of seeing fonts anew in MENA. Do we still call it MENA?
Yeah.
Or Gulf. The regulator there, VARA, really good, really proactive. There's a lot of really interesting things happening in Qatar and in Saudi to try and rival or siphon some of the funds invested in Dubai. So I didn't hear his project. I heard you talking about that.
It's globalized economy now we're in. The only thing about VARA and Dubai is very, very expensive to get a license in terms of compliance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so
it really depends on what you know.
Meg is our resident compliance expert.
Great. So we're looking at now El Salvador for our initial platform launch. So once we get revenue rolling, and then hopefully we can possibly apply for VARA, even FCA, and be a compliant around the globe.
Yeah, it's interesting as well.
Have you thought of Ecuador or Uruguay?
Yeah, so that's why we went to El Salvador in a way after reviewing them.
Interesting, Uma, you mentioned the UK's FCA because they've recently announced that they've got an existing crypto regulatory environment where all crypto companies who offer crypto services in the UK or services and products have to register on their crypto asset register, and they've announced that all of any companies who want to deal in crypto in any way, offer product services to UK residents, will have to re-register. I think it's next year, irrespective of whether they are already registered. And I do get the feeling that it's going to be a little bit more onerous than last time, and it was very onerous last time. Meg, were you going to add something there? So you've had your finger up.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, my first experience was trying to get a license on the temporary regulatory regime. 2020, 2021, went all the way up to fighting with general counsel at FCA. I think there's been a lot of investment in the knowledge internally within the FCA. And it still has a long way to go, at least from my perspective. And, the FCA is already responsible for 67,000 firms and counting. So to try and wrap their arms around very innovative and volatile and sort of opportunistic products and offerings and entrepreneurs, I think is a big ask, truthfully, for the FCA. And personally, I think it'll just be more about enforcement rather than, collaboration and building together. But a lot of people found a way in through the open banking opportunities as well. And then I've tried to sort of be authorized representatives of various EMIs or PSPs and things like that. And I think if the FCA didn't have enough to do with its existing workload, the chance of them scanning the horizon and taking to task every participant and ensuring that we're all, correctly tagged and numbered is a big, big, big ask. And I think a lot of people are spanking that opportunity, truthfully, and potentially unaware of the consequences later down the line. But I mean, did you go to Zebu this year, or did you see any of the Web3 stuff? Or
no, but I was curious, Stuart, being in the States. Stuart, did I see something about some regulatory things coming through in the States in the last week or so, or was that just about stable coins or something? I can't hear you. Oh, you are on mute at the moment.
Yeah, sorry. I'm having trouble with Wi-Fi today. It was more about stable coins than anything else, and Coinbase backed out of the whole thing. Now the bill looks as though it's dead.
Okay. So does that mean the whole? I've forgotten what the act was going to be.
I've forgotten its name. That whatever bill it was, I don't think it's dead. I think it's going to be rewritten and poked around until they've got backing.
Okay. It's kind of interesting then, because we're joined by JT as well. Hey, JT. Because I just know JT will know which US regulation we're thinking of here.
Yes.
Hi, guys. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, because Stuart and I are both having a senior moment of trying to remember what the US latest regulation was. It wasn't the Kerr Act, was it?
No.
Genius Act. Genius. Was that the one we were talking about?
Genius is already done.
Genius isn't new.
No.
Genius
It's done. You're talking about the crypto market structure bill.
Recently, it was about stablecoin rewards.
That's right.
Bill. Yeah.
So the ones you guys talking about.
Go on, JT.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The ones you guys talking about is the crypto market structure bill.
Ah, okay.
So that was last week. Yeah, I think it was introduced by. I always forget the name of the senator. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And they delayed to the end of January. So the problem is mainly they think that they are advancing it too quickly without having sufficient democratic backing.
Okay.
So it's
the
done.
Clarity Act. That's it.
Clarity Act.
Okay.
So it requires but a 3-5 majority. Yeah. And they don't think they have enough Democrats on what's that one? Sorry.
So this is Coinbase withdrawing from things because of the Clarity Act.
Okay. I was not talking about that one. I was talking about the other one.
Okay.
It seeks to enhance consumer protection, encourage innovation, and provide guidelines. And you know that when any government says they seek to innovate, that's death to innovation.
Yeah, I've learned certainly that government speaks. Actually, I'm beginning to understand it now. You basically listen to any words that are used by any government, and they mean the opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I pasted the link that I found very quickly.
Just digging that out now.
Yeah. So they're trying to get really some of them. Democrats are being a bit. I want to say the right word, but I can only come with four-letter words, you know.
Okay.
But they're not being the best in voting on this bill.
Mm.
So that's why it's been delayed. It needs to have Democrats as well on board. Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. The crypto market structure bill.
Yeah, it's pretty much ready. I mean,
Okay.
as soon as this is voted, it will kick off an incredible season for crypto. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be definitely one to watch out for then. Okay. Thanks for that. Cool. So what else is
actually,
going on?
it has been ready since end of October. Or thereabout, but you know, the government shut down and all of that crap they had, and then it came Christmas, and they said we're gonna introduce after the first week of January, which they did, or they tried, and there are Democrat senators that they said, oh, we're not comfortable to vote on this. So what do you mean?
Oh, so see where that goes then.
Yeah.
So we've been joined by someone calling themselves admin, which is interesting because I thought that was me. Hi, admin. Admin staying quiet. Okay. So what else is going on in the world of crypto and blockchain and that at the moment then? Anyone, any news, anything happening? Or is that it?
That was about it.
Cool. Okay. Well, see you folks next week. Have a great day.
Well, Bitcoin went up almost to 98, was 97 something, yeah.
Okay. I was just going to take a look at that. So,
and then it came down again to 95. So usual games, they liquidated $500 million, around that, 500 million or something.
Okay.
So
well, let's take a look at the chart and show it. We've not looked at the crypto charts for a while. So where are we? This is today. 95, yeah. See, this is the thing I love about crypto charts. If you look at it on an instant thing, you go, oh, wow, it's dropped from, this down to 95. But that's over a period of, how long's that? When was it? 123? Back in October. So yes, right. 3 months ago or whatever. But I'm presuming that's actually going through a period of improvements at the moment. Because that just doesn't look right. Yeah, that looks better. So actually, I think this chart's out of date. It's not working or something. Let's just go pull that.
It's currently 95,383.
Mm-hmm. The 95 bit I'm comfortable with. It's just the fact that it was showing a spike of 125, and it keeps insisting on going back to October. There we go. That looks a bit more realistic. So yeah, 95, and for some reason my one-day charts aren't working. So never mind. Hey, there we go. So I actually hit 95.5. Yeah. Okay. So this is the lovely thing about looking at charts. They're basically pretty pictures, aren't they? They're actually artwork more than anything else. And then I always get the thing where people always say to me, oh, what caused that to rise or drop? And they never seem happy with my answer, which is it's a butterfly flapping its wings in the Amazon somewhere. So it comes down to randomness quite a lot. Oh. So Meg, coming back to the compliance side of things, I know you've been absolutely hammering the cause and that kind of thing. You feel as though you're making some headway at last?
I mean, I think my wonderful president and Stuart, I guess you're in California, yeah. But I'm a New Yorker living in London, and I think the volatility that he's brought to the political landscape is ushering a lot of things through. I think he's been quite good for crypto. Encouraging people that may not have engaged with it so far to engage. It's no longer the new kid on the block. There's other things that people are playing with. It'd be interesting to see if there was like a meme coin market for Greenland or Maduro or God knows what else is happening. But
I'm sure there'll be a poly market thing on the whole Greenland thing. Yeah.
But it's really troubling to have a compliance perspective, I mean, why would you comply with something that's broken, right? So if everything is moving and everything is being really taken to task in terms of its value, its contribution, its utility, there is a hell of a lot that we could do away with within compliance. But if the intention is leadership and ensuring comprehensive equality or fair markets or Joe Public or Joanne Public interacting with various things, there seems to be a deafening silence amongst the global populace who these people are speaking for. And one of the things that really upsets me is that democracy fundamentally requires engagement. And what we're seeing is an absence of that scene. But is it okay for a president to land grab and say that it's national security because he wants to sort of perhaps create things that NVIDIA creates? I mean, there's all sorts of theories about why these things are happening, but we're tolerating the circus and staying silent. And, it was a great quote that all the world needs for evil to succeed is for the good to stay silent. So we're focusing on crypto. And from my perspective, crypto was created in utter frustration at overregulation, bureaucracy, feeding an army of participants to make sure we're doing the right thing without realizing why we started doing these things so in some ways I'm really encouraged by the absurdity of what's happening in the global political sphere because of its potential, if it's harnessed, to really cause great change. How can a turtle with a straw in its nose mean that we no longer have plastic straws within 7 months, but we're still grappling with some of the same crap that we were dealing with in the Great Depression? So
I'm going to quickly throw back to the comment you made about Trump and Greenland. I just took a look at Polymarket, and at the moment, the numbers it's showing at the moment, somewhere between 22 and 33, or 22 and 36% about some sort of deal or whether there'll be an invasion or something. So I just want to quickly throw that one in for now.
But that's important because we're all eating popcorn. We're all eating popcorn and allowing these things to happen. And it was Macron yesterday saying, cool, Trump, you want to put a tariff? We will match you, mon chéri. We will do the same. But, and they have this pre-existing planned military, action happening in Greenland with European front. I think it's 5 soldiers or something pathetic. But, all this gesticulating is really providing the cover for some pretty big decisions to be made without democratic engagement. So, JT, you're talking about Belarus? What the hell? I thought you only talked to Adam. Talk to us.
Yeah, this is insane. But it shows that in certain countries, they are going faster than the West countries are. That's why I pasted there. I mean,
there we go. I'll share it. So JT just shared a link on Belarus about Lukashenko signing a decree. See, I thought, didn't Belarus introduce like a enterprise zone in Minsk or something at one point?
Yeah, they did.
If you registered your company there,
it's the high-tech park. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, yeah, it's got it in here. Just realised. Yeah, I remember.
Gary, just out of curiosity, Minsk being the hotbed of investment and entrepreneurial spirit. So, what was the uptake on this wonderful?
I don't know, because having been to Minsk, I'm always nervous about anything to do with that. So
the thing about this that this guy signed into law is that crypto banks are now allowed to integrate token operations with their traditional bank operations.
But that's
this is something.
Places, no?
This is something that many people in the US, in Europe, UK have been asking to do, and the banks, because they pretty much have all the power, they've been trying to delay all of this. Yeah, and that's what's happening as well in the US with the delay of this bill is the pressure and on the other side to not vote for the bill. Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's interesting.
Can I ask you a question?
Because it's a country with a one guy that rules everything. It's easier to do it. It just passes into law and they just go fast forward.
I think that's sort of what's happening in America as well, if we were honest. But if you look at it, I mean, there's POV Bank in Georgia, there's other banks in the Gulf and across South America, even in the UK, that have fully integrated crypto functionality. So what about that was newsworthy? Can I ask?
I'd offer it simply that is a very clear statement, which is not ambiguous in any way about the direction where they're saying about committing towards smooth running of crypto, but placing limitations. Unlike Russia, where Russia for every few months you hear another release of news that the Russian government is about to make an announcement, and then they never do, and it keeps changing. And likewise, India went through a period of that as well, where there were constant states of flux as to whether crypto would be declared legal, illegal, could be used. And there were conflicts as well between what the Central Bank of India was announcing and what the Supreme Court announced and what the government announced now. So at least in Belarus, they seem to be given some clear direction, which is newsworthy in its own right, I would suggest.
Yeah, but just remember the last month, December, they also restricted access to several crypto exchanges, including Bybit, OKX, BitGet,
Yep.
And nobody knows why. Yeah. So my take on this is that I think they're trying to, look. Let's be clear here. There are many things that are not.
I wonder if they're allowing Telegram.
There are many things that are not according to West standards, and people don't like a lot of what happens in the country. So the guy can just dictate and say, "Yeah, that's it. That's how you do it." So my take on this is, I think they are trying to do things in the right way, but by allowing very quickly all these exchanges to come over the market, it comes with a lot of bad things as well, So I think they try probably to get a little bit of control on that.
Meg's throwing a hand up in the air in despair. I'm wondering about the opportunity for crypto compliance in Belarus. That's got to be a real niche opportunity.
Fuck's sake. Why don't we talk about the opportunity to go back in vitro? Can I ask a quick question? Do we have a principle of equivacy in terms of government proclaimments and therefore the market shell-shocking impact? Or, Belarus being sanctioned, having some other issues to possibly contend with. JT, I don't know where you're from, and I love your comments on some other groups that we're in, so I'm not trying to...
We know that they are... I don't think they are under sanctions. There are only a few things that not going well, like flights, because we know what happened, around that. I think, Gary, you remember exactly what happened. They intercepted the flight and there was no going to Belarus, which totally illegal. And that was the problem since then, but I don't think they have sanctions like North Korea or Iran or whatever, they're not under that. Now, is it the best country to live? Probably not. Yes, it is. Does it have a political system that we agree? Surely that not. Most of us don't agree with that. But the fact that they are trying to do something that most of the Western, not Western countries, but people in Western countries have been asking for a while, yes, they are. The question about what I said, they stopping the exchanges operating in Belarus, I don't know the reasons. I'm just trying to figure out why they did it. And my view on that might be that they are trying to take it in a way that is not getting abused, you know? That's my take. Or to go through the existing Belarusian laws, because from what I remember, anyone that wants to operate needs to have a specific license there. Yeah.
But
So maybe that's it.
It's curious because I just checked, and Belarus claimed that the reason that they blocked the exchanges last year was due to inappropriate advertising. Is the claim? Now that was in December. So yeah, it's kind of curious as to. I'm always
there
nervous.
There are local laws, yeah, whatever they
Yeah.
are, doesn't matter. Yeah. So there are local laws. You agree or not, that doesn't really matter, you know, because if you want to operate there, you need to abide by whatever laws they have. If not, then don't operate there. That's it.
I certainly discovered that the hard way when I was there. So, but yeah, that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, it's interesting. At least I do think it is newsworthy that they are actually being open and announcing those kind of things, which is good. So cool.
It's one step. I don't forget that he also put into law that they are helping the crypto mining industry. Do you remember?
Well, yeah, because they were trying to encourage that in some ways. Because again, there was a concern that was a way of overcoming sanctions restrictions, wasn't it? Because it was a way of.
No, it wasn't. It was because they have an overproduction of electricity, especially with the nuclear plant, and so electricity is very cheap there, and so that's been opened up to miners and bring them in because of the cost of operation is much lower.
Well, you know, the same is true in Georgia, but Minsk is cold, which helps with some of the
helps
impact.
With cooling. Helps with the cooling of the data center.
Yeah, it also definitely helps with money laundering. But you know, I guess we're not going to pick apart the facts here.
That's the next one that once we've got rid of the Ukraine, we'll go to Belarus.
Oh, maybe that's the ultimate plot.
It's very interesting that you guys.
The only reason Belarus did that is because of Ukraine.
It's very interesting to talk about money laundering. Do you know which is the city that launders more money in the world?
London, darling.
London. Why are we talking about Belarus about money laundering? It's like not even 1%.
It's market share and attractiveness. I mean, if you're going,
it's not even 1% compared with London.
What in Belarus?
I could recommend.
I think I'm going to become.
I can recommend people read the book Treasure Islands.
All I'd like to tell you is that finding statistics that are reliable on illicit finance remain elusive, let's say. And so a lot of these mental gymnastics, as Jezer would say, are calculations and statistics, which are primed and used to promote whatever ideology or perspective is being supported. But my opinion of things that we could do to tackle these things, I think has far more mainstream appeal than whether or not Belarus is trying to create a crypto bank that's already existing in lots of other places.
But I think it's fair that we don't have any real numbers around illicit use of fiat or crypto or anything, because the very fact it's illicit means they don't exactly publish their accounts. So it's all an estimate or a guess or whatever, and it's politically driven quite often, because if I was an organisation whose responsibility is to track and trace illegal funds, then of course I'm going to say certain markets in a certain way, because that then justifies a budget for me to operate there. So yeah, I get that. Which comes back to the whole thing about vested interests. Sometimes it's actually the governments and the regulators.
Let's talk about the Nobel Peace Prize. You know, why was that, left in, Washington, D.C.? Was it really such a warm and affectionate, nod to Bolivia and such a wonderful gesture of closeness and appreciation and collaboration?
Of course not. You know American politics.
Well, no, I'm not even thinking about American, darling. I mean, hi, you prick. This is what you wanted, yeah? And you don't want me to run your country that you've just taken over. You just want the oil. I think it's hilarious, but we're not having these conversations. So if we're not in a conversation where we can hit the bullshit button when it's required, the rest is sort of superfluous.
So I'm going to throw in the left field one there around the conversation. Goes back to Greenland, actually. But there is a crypto connection. Because what wasn't Greenland at one point cited as a really good potential location for hosting crypto mining operations? I thought, didn't it have, because it's a pretty cold place.
Where's your electricity coming from?
Yeah.
You need a nuclear power plant there.
Mm-hmm. I thought they were just going to boil down to the natural. Sorry, Mike?
I'm ADD, so you got to tell me to shut up when you want me to be quiet. But the thing is, when I was involved in a project once that wanted to explore crypto mining with satellites to have a better climate impact. And of course, anyone who's involved in aeronautics would sort of laugh at that being an economical imperative. But, people try all sorts of things.
Yeah. But I certainly thought that there was exploration about using very cold places. I'm pretty sure Iceland was gaining popularity in this, and I thought Greenland was as well, simply because one of the challenges with a data center running crypto mining is heat. So the colder the place you can run it in, the better, because you just open the windows effectively. But I thought also there was
I don't think we're in a data center, Gary.
You can tell why I'm not a computer operator anymore. It's like, it's getting a bit warm in here. Let's just open the windows.
Having a hot flush. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on HRT. It'll all be great.
Just looking at the power output in Greenland, and they're just making it enough for their population, slightly excess domestic consumption.
Okay.
Per capita electric use is very high because of cold climate, heating, and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Where is this, Stuart?
This is in Greenland, and there's
what did it say about Belarus? Go for that one. That's even funnier.
Oh, Belarus has got an abundance of power.
Oh.
Well, they've got nuclear power stations, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah, which can make a big difference. So,
yeah,
that brings easy to access when they're under sanctions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's all interesting stuff. So here you go. You got on to a call to chat about crypto, and suddenly we're talking about the invasion of Greenland and the potential
money laundering again. I don't know why we always get round to money laundering, Gary. Must be something about
the audience, I suspect.
Yeah.
Participant, not the audience, darling.
Belarus only has one power station, one nuclear power station, 2 reactors.
Belarus,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go. I love these sessions because I always learn something. Whether it's relevant or important, doesn't matter. I always learn something.
Not invite me every Sunday evening.
No. So this is cool now. This means if I'm ever in a pub quiz and they say how many nuclear power stations are there in Belarus, I can now say with confidence there's one.
And the electrical output of Greenland.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a font of knowledge.
Yeah, there we go. That's fantastic. Thanks for that, JT and Stuart. So come on, what else is going on then? Anything of interest that anyone would like to share? JT, you always throw something in.
Somebody told me last week, I think it was on Friday actually, that X banned the InfoFi apps. And there was quite a lot of people doing that rewards users with crypto tokens for posting. Yeah. Okay. So complete ban, which means now majority of those crypto projects that were really automating all sorts of user acquisition and user engagement and so on, they all dead in the water. All the crypto projects, because everybody was using InfoFi.
Okay.
But of course, that InfoFi is really about people posting, getting rewarded with crypto tokens. So there was a lot of bots and bad behaviors and whatever, you know.
Okay.
So that's why they banned it. So what that means is there's only a couple of options for people to use. Yeah, one of them, it's a company that I know and I've interacted with them. They do proper growth marketing, you know. They call master blocks. So that's one of them. They don't
Okay.
do any of this shit with InfoFi and automation and bots. It's actually organic growth hacking, proper stuff done, you know, which is what is missing in crypto projects. Crypto projects don't have real users and proper user acquisition strategies or
Okay.
companies or agencies that work in that way. Yeah.
So
Which
InfoFi standing for information finance. There we go. So we've got DeFi, CFi, now we've got InfoFi. That's the buzzword for the day. Okay.
yeah, that was interesting, you know, and the post that I saw was from a guy, I think, what was his name? Let me have a quick look. Nikita, I think was the name.
Well, I just shared quickly the Mashable one, but I guess, well, where else we got? What's another useful one? We got, Bitpiness has got one. What do they have to say? Spam surge. So I thought originally, wasn't there an implementation of some crypto that was explicitly designed around reducing email spam or something years and years ago?
Well, that didn't work, did it?
No, I'm trying to remember the details of it because it goes back in the real history of crypto and that one of the implementations was to actually manage and reduce spam by effectively tokenizing the cost of sending us an email or something. But yeah, I can't remember the details of it now. Oh well, there's another one to check out. What InfoFi is.
Well, while you're
Something
looking at
else, something else that I came across was quite a few crypto companies, yeah, are laying off. So Mantle, which is that blockchain, laid off last week or started to lay off quite a lot of the stuff they had.
Okay.
Really a lot. Polygon as well, 30% of staff gone. So yeah, last year was brutal for a lot of the chains, yeah, a lot of the projects. So it seems
because
to
it's
be
not growing.
this.
Go on,
Sorry.
Stuart.
No, blockchain is not growing, and so you're seeing a lot of the, they're just sending each other transactions. It's the same 3% of total transactions that's going through, and it's going from one chain to another. So a lot of these places need to close down till we get consolidation.
Okay.
The problem, yes, you're right about that. Yes, but the main problem is that if there aren't, if the rate of startups being created does, and they launch, yeah, in whatever crypto projects they have, then of course the chains are not going to be successful. They need these projects to come. And last year was brutal. There was, I mean, nobody's getting financed. There was not much investment on startups. Lots of projects.
That's not a true statement. That's not a true statement.
Oh, come on. There was no alt season. What you don't understand?
Just before we go into that, I just want to mention, I noticed the author of this report on CoinDesk was Olivier Acuna. If anyone wants to have a fascinating conversation with a journalist about the time that I think he was kidnapped, he's a very interesting guy, lovely chap and a great author. So, sorry, back to the discussion.
No, JT is saying that investment in new companies was down last year. Yes, it was down, but there was still a lot of companies that were financed. I mean, I get weekly reports, and there's a lot of money still out there. investing.
Mm.
You've just got to have the right product.
Is that there's a lot of money over in the Valley still, or is that globally?
No, I get for the Middle East and also for the US.
Okay.
And
The
I mean,
only area that was getting proper investment, it was all around DeFi, and it was more around treasuries, around Bitcoin and Solana and Ethereum treasuries, and easiest swap between all of those. I've seen, yeah, of course there are investment. I didn't say it was zero, yeah, but compared with previous years, it was like almost non-existent, yeah.
I thought the investors had all moved into AI.
AI has been a tremendous pit for money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was
there.
So a lot of the money that existed, I explained this to people many, many times. Okay, majority of those funds were investing in projects that were not launching at all. So I remember someone's sharing with me, showing me a list of 120 something projects that were still to launch in 2025, and they showed me that in September 2025.
Yeah.
And we're talking about projects that got like tens of millions of investment, some of them over 100 million, like Monad, for example. Yeah, Mega is really big projects. None of them had launched their token yet. So the total investment, we were calculating more or less between us, what was on those 120 was well over $3 billion. So if the investors, when they invest in these crypto projects, they are expecting one thing, yeah? A majority are expecting to get their tokens back, because it's not only equity, so it's a mix of equity and tokens. And the way they do it is they exit the tokens, yeah, and they get their return on their investment. It's very simple. Now, when the project doesn't launch, it means they don't have money to invest again in another project. So what did they do? They went to the LPs. They went to their LPs, and LPs go, where's my money that I gave to you? Oh, it's still on the projects. Okay, then when you get the money back, pay me back, and you get more liquidity. That was the problem that was happening last year. A lot of the money was going to, a lot of the money was really on Bitcoin and Ethereum, yeah, and they were riding as Bitcoin was going up and Ethereum up. So some of them exited when Bitcoin reached good levels. Others didn't, and they're still having the same problem. So I don't know if it's going to be this year, but if we don't see a shift, I think the crypto industry is going to suffer badly, and it's going to be mainly just the top, whatever, 10, 20 tokens.
But that sounds like a repeat of what we saw with the ICO craze of 2016 through to probably died off about 2018,
yeah.
where there were a lot of projects where money was going into the creation of tokens and the projects and the development.
But they launched.
Yeah, and then they didn't launch for a long time. And then they eventually did, as they started running out of real money. And then they invariably flopped. So.
No, Gary, you're wrong. In 2017 was the crazy year,
yeah,
where projects got really a lot of money for investment. There was like 50% ended up being scams, okay? Because then they launch and the people exit the tokens they bought, and the token crashed, yeah? So there was lots and lots of projects appearing, launching, token, launch, crash, next one, and there was people made a lot of money by moving their liquidity constantly to project, yes? So it was crazy in that year. So there was money being invested in the projects, but there was not much, how should I say, DD done on the projects at all. There was just people moving.
So I'm quickly going to throw in this one in before I bring Meg back in, because I can see she wants to rejoin the conversation. Because this is where I said 2016 through 2018. I remember being involved in some crypto projects where there was a real concern by that stage that they were running out of real money, and they were getting more and more desperate, and that meant they were having all sorts of problems. But Meg wants to come back in because I see she was getting quite animated, and I'm worried about, with us talking about Davos and everything, that without having a white cat, she's going to come over and hold it and do the Ernest Blofeld type thing here.
Ernesta.
Yes, Mr. JT.
I love you. I'm a reptilian. Listen, can I ask you, how do you define a fraud or a scam, JT? I mean, are we using the same dictionary, or is it just volatility?
So what happened in 2017 was there was a lot of guys that were coming up with their projects, and they really didn't have any technology behind it. So
what about OneCoin? Because that was a woman. Are you still considering that?
Hold on.
OneCoin was the biggest non-crypto
crypto
scam.
I just wanted to know if we could include women.
So that was, and then those people didn't have any attack. They will just produce nice deck, a nice website. They launched the token. The token went up, and then they were the ones that were actually dumping the token, take the money away, and run with it and go for the next project. So that is what's called a rug pull. That I consider that a scam. And then you have the actual real scams like OneCoin, and Gary mentions that quite a lot, you know, in some of the calls. Those are the typical.
Was she Belarusian?
No, she's allegedly Bulgarian, if I remember correctly. Yep. It was Ignorova or something, the crypto queen, as she was known.
Yep.
Yep.
I love that you're using the word "was." I mean, that hasn't been conclusively proven.
Well, yeah.
The important thing, on that one is that there was just, in the team, there was a group of them. They knew they were running the scam, okay? But the people around them, they didn't know. They were just working for them and getting paid and to do all the stuff that they were doing. And it was like three, wasn't it? The core people that were the ones running. Yeah.
Do we throw in Exxon, or do we throw in, Bear Stearns, Lehman?
No.
I mean, how do we qualify scam? I'm getting quite riled. Sorry, I'll go pet my cat.
I think a scam is where you intentionally design something and promote something with the intention of ripping people off, as opposed to, because I went through the same definitional thing years ago, where sometimes projects would launch and they'd spike up, they'd collapse, and everyone would say, no, it's a scam, blah, 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 blah. And actually it wasn't. It might have just been a poorly executed project where actually it had people who were doing it with good intent.
Lots of those, Gary.
Yeah,
really
And absolutely. So I get that. And that's why OneCoin, I do use it a lot in the conversations, because I still think it's the largest non-crypto scam ever. Because it was actually it was a scam. It was intended to fleece people of money, as an illegal enterprise. It was an MLM based scheme that was designed to ply on the greed and the gullible, and there wasn't actually a blockchain or any crypto involved. So it technically wasn't a crypto project.
I can give you a very recent example. Yeah. But that's hard to figure out if he was a rug pull or not. Okay. Eric Adams.
Sorry, what?
New York City, they launched a New York City token. I don't know if you saw that on the news. Just Google it. Yeah. So he denied there was a rug pull. But the fact is that the token dumped 80% at launch. I'm astonished, man, that this guy, previous New York mayor, that was actually involved in this. When I was reading that, I was like, what? Can't believe it. So people are saying that, yes, that was a rug pull. That was a rug pull and planned in a way. Yeah.
Yes. Fascinating. An ex-New York mayor.
Exactly. Just last week. He was a mayor until the beginning of this year, until Mandani took over.
Mm.
Do you think the politicians are absolutely white? I won't say white, but uncorruptible?
Are
No.
they?
Nah.
Oh.
Realistically, it seems that the bigger politically you get, the more exposed you
Crypto is
are.
designed to obscure the ownership of any given account, so it remains unclear. Guys, I wish we could sue the people that write this drivel. Truly. I mean, because if we're going to fund podcasts based on this, we have a concept in money laundering, Stuart, source of funds and source of wealth. So if I know where it's coming from, then I have reason to opine on its legitimacy. And if we applied the same scrutiny to ICOs or journalism, we might have less of.
There has been attempts at doing that for journalism, hasn't there? Of effectively the credibility, provenance, and trustability of articles and that kind of thing.
Yeah, but who has time for that? I mean, fuck it. It's like we have AI agents. Anyway, okay, quick question. Did anyone hear about the class action against Sam and OpenAI?
Go on, you can share more while I try and
Stuart,
find
go
these.
on.
No. All I know is that there's a class action against OpenAI. That's all. I get those notices too. I don't know what it's about. I haven't read it.
JT?
Go on,
Has he died? Has he left?
I haven't read it as well.
Okay,
I
so
don't know much about
basically,
it.
some incel was bored and lonely and had a lot of time on his hands, and he developed a intricate, intimate relationship with ChatGPT, and it became sycophantic. And after 3 or 4 months of uninterrupted, yes, you're right, your mother wants you dead, he killed his 90-year-old mother and then himself. And they're blaming the psychosis completely on the generated narrative from ChatGPT. So if Elon had a problem with naked videos, I can't wait to see how this plays out when you have, I don't know, I'm a parent, I have a teenager, and a lot of the things that he engages with will advocate suicide, will advocate doing drugs, will advocate, moving to Belarus and starting a crypto firm. But, how do we put some of that responsible AI? It's really a shame Jeremy and Michael aren't on this call because that would have been a fascinating conversation. But the responsible AI is something that we really do need to speak about. No,
I think that's a total waste of any energy. It's parenting. Go back to parenting. I mean,
okay, well, he killed his parents, so was it her fault?
Possibly.
Oh, go on, Stuart.
You have a mentally ill son, and just because he was using AI doesn't make it any better. You get people who kill their parents. They're mentally ill. And the question is, can you...
Yeah, Brad Reiner, etc. It had nothing to do with ChatGPT. But my concern is, if you have uninhibited access to something, and it facilitates a narrative without any checks and balances, do we not feel that that is something we might want to look into? I don't believe ChatGPT or Sam should be held responsible for mental health and, neuroses, but
I mean,
is that not something you care about?
Interview before you're allowed to use AI, and then check every 3 months to see if you've got neuroses?
Well, why do we have regulators then for finance if we're all going to be good people, just naturally? I mean, there's got to be some parameters,
Because it generates tax and it keeps people employed.
Yeah. My thinking...
money laundering. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, we're back to the same old topic again. I guess we're going to have to close the subject down. Really shame, simply because of time, not anything else, because we are out of time. But that was really interesting. But I think, again, Maggie, you're making a great point about how I actually think there might be a whole new industry which is around...
Always funding armies, stick it up your junta.
Yeah,
stick it up your junta, right?
Yeah. Well, we've had fun on this conversation. Really good this week. So thank you everyone for joining the call. Really appreciate it. JT as well. Thanks as always for finding the news nuggets. Which
want to see the new trend? It's going to be a meme. Yeah. So you know how you used to start with a heart?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you. Oh, you broke my heart.
Folks, have a great week and be safe. Have a good one. Thanks for joining in.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers now.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.